Let me say something very clearly. CSAT is not a knowledge test. It is a control test. Every year, thousands of serious aspirants fail CSAT. Not because they do not know math, not because they did not practice. Then what? But because they lost control inside the exam hall. They panic when they see a tough reading comprehension. They waste time on one quant question. They lose rhythm after two or three difficult questions. And by the end, they are no longer writing the paper with clarity. They are writing it with fear. CSAT is not failed in the syllabus, it is failed in the system. So today, I'm not going to teach quant, I'm not going to teach reasoning. I'm going to give you a minute by minute execution plan for the exam hall, because in CSAT, strategy is more important than knowledge, and control is more important than confidence. Let us accept one uncomfortable truth, that is reality check. You need only around 66 marks to qualify CSAT. That's it. Not 120, not 150 marks. That means you do not need to dominate the paper. You do not need to solve everything. You do not need to prove anything. You only need enough correct decisions made calmly under pressure. This is where many aspirants make the first mistake. They treat CSAT like a score maximization paper. But CSAT is not that. They treat CSAT like a score maximization paper. But CSAT is not that. It is a survival paper. CSAT is a qualifying paper, but it eliminates toppers. Let me simplify the entire paper for you. This is the core principle of the UPSC CSAT examination. Every CSAT paper has three invisible zones. What are they? Safe questions, moderate questions, and trap questions. Usually, around 30 to 35 are relatively safe, around 20 to 25 are moderate, and around 15 to 20 are traps. The problem is UPSC will never label them for you. These are safe, these are moderate, or these are traps. You have to recognize them in real time, under pressure. CSAT is not about solving more questions. It is about identifying the nature of questions. Your job is simple: capture the safe questions, control the moderate questions, eliminate the trap questions. Those are traps. That is the game. That is the entire game. Then we are going to discuss about minute by minute execution plan in the exam hall. 0 to 2 minutes. This is called entry phase. The biggest mistake aspirants make here is that they start solving immediately. That is wrong. Your first 2 minutes are not for solving, they are for settling. Sit still, breathe slowly, calm your body, stabilize your mind. Because your first emotional state decides the quality of your next 2 hours. Now, do a quick scan of the paper. Do not read deeply. Do not get trapped in any one question. Just scan. Just scan the paper. Look at the reading comprehension passages. Are they short or long? Dense or manageable? You have to observe this. Then look at quant. Does it look basic or calculation heavy? Look at reasoning. Is it direct or puzzle like? You are not reading the paper, you are mapping the battlefield. The student who starts with panic finishes with panic. The student who starts with control finishes with control. You have to remember this carefully. So, this is 0 to 2 minutes, then 2 to 35 minutes. This is called as round 1, safe capture and first marking. Now begins the most important phase of the exam. Round 1 is where you build your foundation. If round 1 goes well, the test and the rest of the paper becomes mentally lighter. If round 1 goes badly, the whole exam starts feeling heavier than it actually is. So, your rule here is very strict. Attempt only those questions where you understand the logic instantly. You should feel one of the three things immediately. I know what this is asking. I can see the method. I can finish this quickly. If that clarity is there, you can attempt. If not, you can leave it. Do not negotiate with confusion in round 1. Do not try a little more. Do not just see once. In CSAT, staying on a wrong question is more dangerous than skipping it. Your round one sources are usually easy reading comprehension, direct reasoning questions, basic quant questions, and straightforward comprehension based elimination. The goal is simple: capture the paper where it is weakest. Take the easiest available marks first. Our target here is around 25 to 30 questions with high accuracy, very high accuracy, 90% plus accuracy. And now comes the critical correction. At the 35-minute mark, stop. Do not continue solving. Do not postpone this. Mark these 25 to 30 questions in the OMR immediately. Do not wait for the end. Bank these marks now. Secure your foundation now. Because one skipped bubble, one displacement, one late panic can destroy an otherwise good paper. So after round one, lock in your work. This is 2 minutes to 35 minutes work. Round two, this is 35 minutes to 70 minutes work. This is called as control phase and second marking. Now you enter round two. This is the control phase. Now the questions are not fully easy, but they are also not impossible. They are the middle layer, slightly calculative, slightly time taking, and slightly inferential. Now your mindset changes. You are not looking for certainty, you are looking for controlled progress. Use elimination aggressively, reduce options, simplify the problem, break the question down. You do not always need a full elegant solution. Sometimes you just need a controlled correct decision. You are not solving the paper, you are negotiating with it. You are negotiating with the paper. Set one strict rule here. What is that? Do not let anyone question eat your time. If a question is stretching too much, you can leave it comfortably. Emotional attachment is dangerous. Aspirants often think, I have already spent 2 minutes here, let me finish it. That is exactly how time gets destroyed in CSAT. In CSAT, time is not spent only on questions, it is spent on ego. Target in this round is around 10 to 15 more questions. That is the target. And at the 70-minute mark, stop again. Mark these questions in the OMR immediately. Again, do not postpone. Again, do not trust the end of the paper. By now, you should have 40 or more bubbles filled. That changes your psychology. Your anxiety drops. Your breathing settles. Your brain starts working faster because now you are no longer chasing survival blindly. You are operating from relative safety. Once again, I am repeating it. By now, you should have 40 or more bubbles filled. That changes your psychology. Your anxiety drops. Your breathing settles. Your brain starts working faster because now you are no longer chasing survival blindly. You are operating from relative safety. This is the end of 70th minute, 70 minute. Next round 3, that is 70 minute to 95 minute. This is called as the survival decision. Now comes the most dangerous phase of the paper is the survival decision. That is 70 minute to 95 minute. This is where fatigue enters. This is where urgency increases. This is where many good students damage their own paper. Now ask yourself, the most important question of the day is, what is that? Am I already safe or not? Am I already safe or not? Ask this honestly, not emotionally, not hopefully, honestly. If you already have around 45 solid attempts with a decent confidence, do not behave like someone who still needs 20 more. Protect your accuracy, protect your paper, protect your rank. Most students do not fail here because they were underprepared. They fail because they become greedy after reaching safety. CSAT is a grave ad of people who attempted 70 questions and got 35 wrong. So if you are near safety, do not hunt for more without reason. If you are not yet safe, then and only then take calculated risks, not blind risks, calculated risks only. Questions where two options can be eliminated, questions where logic narrows the field, questions where partially clarity exists, but still no blind guessing, no emotional guessing, no desperate guessing. At this stage, survival is more important than ambition. Survival is more important than ambition at this stage. Then we are moving to 95 minute, 95th minute to 110 minutes. This is called as final audit phase. 95th to 110 minute. Now shift your mindset again. No longer from solving, but from checking. This phase is for catching hidden damage. Look for silly mistakes, unit mistakes, reversal mistakes, reading comprehension, interpretation mistakes, and instruction mistakes. You have to check these types of mistakes here between 95th to 110th minute. Did the question ask for correct or incorrect? Did you read not properly? Did you read convert units properly? Did you confuse statement 1 and statement 2? Aspirants lost marks very quietly here, not because the paper was impossible, but because the mistake was silent. And silent mistakes are dangerous because they feel invisible until the result. So now your job is not speed, your job is cleanup, your job is correction, your job is protection. This is the final round, that is 110 minute to 120 minute. This is the last 10 minutes. This is called as emergency buffer. These last 10 minutes are not for mass marking. They are not for panic solving. They are not for random heroism. These 10 minutes are your emergency buffer. Use them for unit checks, instruction checks, OMR class checks, question number matching, and one final composure reset. Check whether the question asked for correct or incorrect. Check whether your rough assumption was valid. Check whether any bubble is left unintentionally. Check whether any answer is shifted by one line. This is the phase that protects the entire paper from collapse. You do not lose CSAT in solving. You lose it in the small silent mistakes. And sometimes one unnoticed mistake is not one last mark. It is a chain reaction. So use this buffer intelligently, not emotionally. For the UPSC CSAT examination, have to clear comfortably, we have to imbibe few golden rules. What are the golden rules? Are remember these rules. What are they? Selection is more important than solving. Accuracy is more important than attempts. Time discipline is more important than intelligence. Calmness is more important than confidence. And above all, control is more important than speed. CSAT does not reward drama, it rewards discipline, it rewards restraint, it rewards good decisions repeated calmly. Let me tell you something very honestly. Most aspirants do not fail CSAT because it is too tough. They fail because they walk into the exam hall without a system. And if there is no system, pressure takes over, emotion takes over, panic takes over. But now you have a system. If you follow this in marks, your behavior will change. If your behavior changes, your score will change. If your score changes, your confidence will become real, not motivational, real. And when you walk into the exam hall with this clarity, you will not panic at the first difficult reading comprehension. You will not waste 10 minutes on one quant trap. You will not lose control in the final half an hour. You will control the paper. This is not preparation. This is execution. Thank you and all the best.